Today I wanted to do a sketchbook tour, and basically I'm just going to go through some old sketchbooks that I have. I'm going to go through one of my newer sketchbooks, and it's not going to be anything too crazy. I'm going to try my best to not like rant or like babble about the kind of contents of the drawing, because I feel like every artist has just kind of like random shit that they draw in their sketchbook. I think in the past, one of my flaws were with sketchbooks was I was not filling the paper in its entirety, and I wasn't really using it. So let's just go through some sketchbooks. So this is, I don't also know or really remember like the time period of some of these sketchbooks. I do know that it's like this is probably the oldest one. This is like second oldest, and then this is like the one that I finished, I believe, before I got this one. Because I had an obsession before with smaller sketchbooks, and nowadays I'm more into kind of like bigger sketchbooks. But let me not get too ahead of myself. We're gonna see. But some of this stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I might have to like cut out or like blur. So if you see like a photo over the screen, like a meme or something, just know I had to blur it out just because of YouTube guidelines, or like I don't know. Like maybe I just blurted it out because I didn't want nobody to see it. There is like some personal stuff in here. Just to explain really quickly too, around the time period of like all of these sketchbooks, I was dealing with the passing of my dad back in 2022. So you'll probably see some stuff where I'll explain a little bit and like talk about like the emotional side of drawing, which like obviously people have the emotional side of drawing, like people do that, but I'll explain, like I'll TLDR it a little bit, but just to give you a heads up about what's the context of some of the crap that's in here. So as you can see, I also have it up in front of me right here. My sketchbook has some lovely stickers. I actually love to collect stickers. Maybe at some point I'll show you guys like my like huge ass bag over there in the corner of stickers that I have from like my mom and everything. But as you can see, this is the stickers, and then I've had this sketchbook since I was like in freshman year of college, like sophomore year. But I think I've like ripped out all the pages from back then, and then I think this must have been back in like 2022, 2023. Maybe there's some dates in here, we'll see, but I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up. And as we can see, my favorite thing about this sketchbook is because, let's see if I can get it without Goku with a hot dog. I'm not sure what the hot dog says, but he's like, I'm hungry. I think I'm funny. But okay. So first off, just some sketches. Like, I mean, some of this stuff is really nothing to talk about. This was, I guess, let me talk about like the specifics. Like, you can tell that this is just like a random person's sketchbook. Like, it's nothing too crazy. Like, I'm here, I'm drawing. During this time frame, I worked at Vans, so a lot of these sketches would be like me on my lunch break or like me on the train. Honestly, I don't think that there's really anything that I'm really gonna have to cut out. Like, okay, I was into One Piece, I was drawing gay crap. Like, who knew? Like, who knew that I was doing all that? Like, look at all the crap behind me. Like, we can tell, dude. But at the same time, I was listening to a lot of music. I think this was still me just trying to find out what my style was. And as you can see, water damage in the book. I really don't give a fuck. This notebook, like a lot of my notebooks were just kind of like thrown around. But one thing that you can tell is skipped pages, inconsistency overall with drawing on the like left hand side back page here. So that's something that, as you'll see as we go along through these sketchbooks, I definitely get better at. I think personally too, if I really had to kind of like criticize myself, I think nowadays I have a better sketchbook process if I'm just kind of like sitting down, or if I'm at work, or if I'm like genuinely bored, or if I genuinely have like a really good idea. But I think I can tell, like when I'm looking through some of this crap, I can tell that either some of it is forced or some of it isn't. And I really hate something that feels forced, but this is my own art. I know exactly what my forced versus what like my not forced stuff looks and feels like. But every artist I think has that kind of like process within themselves where they're like, okay, like not to like self-criticize myself all the time, but I want to be like, okay, what's the point where it's like, okay, when can I do something that's not flawless every time, but that's comfortable every time? And I can tell by looking at a lot of this older stuff that I was not comfortable every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think nowadays, like, let me not get too ahead of myself because we're going to get into the good stuff soon. But I think back then you could tell that some of my stuff was more just kind of like brain dump, me trying to pass the time. This is a cool page though. I do like this. What does this say? Not beating the DBZ hair allegations. Okay, whatever. And then Spider-Sona stuff. I've always drawn my Spider-Sona. But I have to stop here because this is actually a pretty good and successful page. I really love the coloring on this. And I would say that this is something that I like would probably like. This is something that I could see myself drawing like today. Ignore this side, but on the right side, this is like, oh, like I would probably go and sketch that right now if I really felt like it. So super successful, really good colors. Don't know when I did that. This is also a good example. I really don't like the drawing, if you want me to be for real, bro. Like, I can't lie and sit here that, like, I don't feel like some of my fan art stuff makes me laugh, you know what I'm saying? But it makes me laugh, and I think it's good that it's a healthy thing. But I think what makes it successful is I can remember and tell that my art process was like, okay, this is something that I drew, but I really don't like it. What can we do to kind of like reconstruct or make the drawing a little bit more dynamic? So you can see that afterwards, you can tell that I didn't like it. Like this was just whatever. Maybe this was like the brain dump version. And then everything else here, if I can get it to focus, was like, oh, okay, like let me work my brain a little bit. I think you'll see a lot of my shit is very just kind of like maybe looks the same. Ignore this one. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna explain this one, but we're just gonna skip it. A lot of my stuff looks the same. And I think it's just a result of like an artist's comfortability, like what they usually will draw versus like I said, a lot of these drawings are not like me sitting down and locking in. Like when I sit down and lock in, it's actually so good, but I think because I have such a fast-paced lifestyle, you can see that as a result, like there's not too much substance to a lot of this early stuff. But as you can see here, I have clearly days where like it's really good. What the hell am I writing here? I think I'm talking about my older brother. My older brother is Hanzo and I'm Genji. Okay. Like whatever, dude. I make myself laugh. We're gonna read a lot of crap that I've written in here where it's like either super depressing or it's like, okay, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You're just being silly. And a lot of this stuff is just like brain dump and like, so okay, here we go. This was in 2023. Okay, so this is a sketchbook from literally 3 years ago. You can change a lot in 3 years. That's what I'll say. I will say that as fuck because I was only 22 when I was like probably I was literally about to turn 22 because this is 2 days before my birthday. I'm describing my older brother talking with me here, and I'm drawing these little fake babies that I have around my room, and my dab pen, sadly, and Roblox and blah blah blah. Time is important. You know, I usually write a lot of stuff in my sketchbook that it'll be brain dump, maybe like journaling type stuff. These days I separate my journal and my sketchbook, or I try to. You know what? That's a lie. You're gonna see that that's also a lie. But I think it's good to write stuff down. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect or I don't try to change or get better every day. So I'll put that as a side note as you see as we go along. But like I said, a lot of these drawings that I do is just quick. They're brain dump. They're just me like thinking or me drawing some bullshit. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna have one of my friends I think draw a really good horse here because I was like, I would think I must have been hanging out with someone this day. But some of this stuff, definitely maybe people have seen if you follow like my personal account, but not for like only like the 10 people to 20 people that have followed that follow my personal account and have seen me upload these drawings back when they're uploaded. Okay, me when I played Teamfight Tactics and I was drawing myself as one of the bunnies. Very embarrassing. But okay, let's get back to the real shit, like the real actual art shit. But you can tell there's clearly days where my brain is working in really good ways in terms of like art. Like I'm thinking, I'm using my brain, I'm getting creative, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go through and finish up this sketchbook. But also, I'm gonna also talk about how now, as you can see, going into like, I'm gonna say that this is like, if that was like my birthday, this must be close to like the summertime, slash back into the fall, because I'll take big breaks from drawing. So it's like, you can tell that this is like a big art style shift at some point in my life. Oh shit, let me not put that on the screen. I might have to blur it. Fuck it, I'm gonna blur that out. But you can tell that, I mean, I don't know, like it's low-key same, but I'm not doing like portraits anymore. Sorry, not to like spit into the mic. I'm not doing portraits anymore. I'm doing more full body pieces. I'm really trying to kind of like, I think in my head, like really make something dynamic. And I think this is back when I was going back to school for like a semester, and I was like on the train every day on the commuter rail. I mean, obviously this is like my commuter rail pass right here. I'm just gonna blur out what it actually says, but me going back onto the train. Oh wait, no. I worked at Zoomies at this time. Oh, so before I went back to school, the same process, you know, like I was really trying to get to a point in my art where I was feeling comfortable. Sometimes I can't tell, this shit is not dated at all, so forgive me for not knowing my own life, unfortunately, but... And this, okay, so this was before I went to school. This is where this sketchbook ends, and I'm going to show this as a point in inconsistency that, you know, I'm honestly never going to come back to this sketchbook, I don't think, unless, you know, the world ends and I run out of paper. So I always keep them around, but I think it's just good to show, like, even in a small amount, how more consistent and able I was to, you know, build like a character, I guess you could say, like build something concise. And this, to me, knowing my own artwork, like this is looking more concise. Like you're seeing more work on the page, you're seeing more writing, you're seeing characters from different angles. Like, hell yeah, I'm always gonna draw like the fucking left facing like whatever angle, but you can see that my brain is getting a little bit more, it's working, you know, it's working. So we're gonna close that one for now. That was number 1, and we're gonna go straight into number 2. So we're starting off great. I actually do low-key remember this. I was at Min High with my friends Vincent and Alyssa. Shout out Min High, they're a great pho place owned by this like small family, so like really only locals go there, or like if you live there you go there. They're pretty cool. But I was there, and this was the start of one of my best sketchbooks, so really great. Please KYS, you know, I must have been feeling a very certain way that day, but this was the start of me getting a little bit better with I don't know, just drawing. And even if it was brain dump, you can tell that it's more, in my opinion, knowing myself, I can tell that it's more concise. And you can tell that this was around Christmas time. This was the new the wrapping paper that Vince gave me. And a lot of the times also in my sketchbook, I'm doing like poetry, I guess you could say, like weird inspirational crap, or just drawing, you know. I'm a fucking artist at the end of the day. I like to do fan art bullshit. This was a drawing of my Baldur's Gate 3 character, and I wrote the words Pookie, and you could tell that this was clearly when I was at work. Well, not, I love how I say you can tell. I can tell that this was when I was at work, because it's literally just highlighter, some sticky note, and I never have whiteout, and that was clearly what we had. And, you know, there's just, like, I have nothing to say about this one, honestly. There's just art in here, bro. But no rules, only love. Yada, yada, yada. Shout out my boy Jalen. He asked me to design an album cover for him, and I still owe it to him. I'm such a dickhead. This was actually something that I redid on digital, too. So sometimes I have really good pieces here where I end up like doing something like fun with it, even if it's not anything too important. But most of it is like poetry. Like I have this recurring character, and it's, if you want me to be honest, it's literally just like me with like hella big afro, like some people have kind of like the afros that they can like really mold into a shape, and I've always really loved that. My hair is hella short now, but I've always wanted to do that, and I had really long hair for a long time, so that's kind of, and I took it as an interpretation, I think, of myself during that time period, like I said, when my dad passed away, because I was hella depressed, bro. Like, when your dad dies, you get fucking depressed. News flash, everybody. But yeah, I was drawing so much, and it was so emotional. And I'm not gonna hate on that, and I'm not gonna shit on that either, because it's just the truth. And even though there's very like corny and like weird shit in here, I'm gonna try my best to not cut a lot of this out, because I want to still, as like, I'm getting distracted by like showing you guys just like the certain things that are in here, but I still want to be genuine to like what I'm showing you. So that's the reason why I'm talking so much about like caricature and like what I'm actually putting pen to paper, is because and like time frame of like when I was going back to school, XYZ, like all of those things kind of matter, because you could just tell the difference. You could tell the difference in my creation and what was making my brain work at the time. Also, I'm so sorry that this is not getting focused right now. Okay, I'm gonna try my best to keep it focused. All right. This was also the time where I was really comicking. I kind of hate that we're getting a little bit closer, because this was really the antithesis of a lot of my gay shit coming back. And it was just me with my Spider-Sona, and I ship him with Deadpool. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just going to be honest and say it with a straight face. I do. So I was just drawing a lot of comic and interactions with them. And if you want me to be honest, it was really also like reflection-wise of like my personality too. I mean, that's the whole point of like putting yourself into any type of like AU or anything like that. Like, even without you knowing it, your art is just genuinely a reflection of yourself. Yes, I'm cringe. Yes, I do stupid shit. Yes, I'm human. That's all we got to remember at the end of the day. You are no less cringe than the person that does the furry art on Twitter. You are no less cringe, because there's at least one cringe thing that you draw yourself as. And if you don't, that's cool too. Like, not all of us have to be cringe. I'm cringe. I'm fine with it. This is like some meme about like, I looked at the computer. The computer said... Wait, fuck, what does it go? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this was one of the projects that I was working on during school. I had to make, I'll probably put, as I'm talking, you guys know I like to put shit up on screen, but it was around the time where I was doing this one project where I had to make a cereal box. So I was writing down notes, I was drawing. Here's actually some of the stuff here. Oh crap, sorry, I got distracted by what's on the next page because I was also trying to figure out what it is. Like I was saying though, this was one of the kind of pre-sketches. Oh my god, I wish that this shit would focus. Thank you. This was kind of like one of the pre-sketches for the character that I ended up making for the cereal box, and he was like he was kind of like a culmination of like a bunch of different killers in media, and he just has like a bag over his head, hooks through him. He's got like the typical yellow gloves, butcher, but he's the kind of theme was that I used to base the cereal box, because I had to have kind of like some background story, was in the human world there's also a monster association, but so that the monsters and the villains and blah 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 whatever don't kill humans, the butcher is one of kind of like the head execs, and he makes artificial meat flavored foods for monsters and whoever needs it in that world. So he makes cereal, and he makes a bunch of other meat products as well. So he's actually a good guy. And this is actually one of my stickers. I made a sticker out of this. Oh boy, you better not go scratch at that door. This is my life. Letting my cat in every time he commands me. But back when I worked my work-study job, because I would always be up in there, and they would always have the fucking heat blasting for no reason. And I was always fucking tired, because imagine like taking the commuter rail for like an hour. You already got to get up at like 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m., and then make it to school. No, I would have to get up at 6 a.m. to make it to my class at 8 a.m., then go to my fucking work study at 10 a.m., then like go to another class, then like I was doing a lot, so I was constantly fucking tired. So anytime in my work study where nobody was in there, or like I was filing papers, or I was like in the bathroom, one thing I would be doing is watching Family Guy on the side, like just in like the background on my headphones, so that I had something to listen to while I was filing. But I was also falling the fuck asleep, because I was so damn tired. And if you know me, I love to do sleep. But yeah, again, back to the main point. As I'm saying, you can see that consistency is getting way better. So as you can see, I'm getting way better at not only comicking, but idea making. Okay, and then I was doing some like AU writing. I'm actually glad some of this bullshit is blurred out. Okay, but here's an inconsistency. Missing page. Sometimes I just do that. It just happens. As you can see, despite me, drawing random crap. Oh my god, my kitty. Love Nuki. He literally looks like that. That's actually a really good drawing. As you can see, consistency is getting better. Drawings are getting better, and I am experimenting with different stuff. This was me experimenting with ink pens. You can't really tell because it literally just looks like a ballpoint pen, or like, because there's a lot of different types of things out there these days. But these were ink pens that I was experimenting with. These were like markers and crap. That one, the other page was ink pens, but this is markers plus ink, plus some ink pens plus watercolor. And at some point, I would call these pages successful just because they're filled, and I think that most times than not, a filled page is definitely a successful one. But at the same time, I would say that the art is not ideal. Like, as you saw before in some of these previous pages, I definitely knew what a good drawing was and what a good drawing isn't, but not that you have to do good all the time when you're in your sketchbook. But I was just drawing and becoming myself again, I guess is what I would say. And as I wrote this in a very cringe way, very cringe, happy-go-lucky, silly way, am I an artist again? Because I was really feeling like I was drawing. So imagine being me, I'm about to go back to school, I'm quitting Zoomies, I'm drawing again, I make it back into school, I get accepted into the transfer program, I'm going to class, I'm doing the thing, life is good. Life is good. And yeah, so we're gonna continue on here. Where did I stop even? Oh, I think I missed this page too. Yeah, see, you can even tell that this is like me writing some shit for my class. But gay shit, we all know it, blah blah blah. But more just random crap, testing out. This was just like a scratch page for a one project that I was doing for class. Let's see. Yo, I'm so sorry. This camera just really doesn't like this sketchbook. But very cool and dynamic crap. Just random crap. Me getting over emotional per usual. Not new. I'm a Cancer. It's what we do best. But this was me doing still life kind of sketches. And I remember this in class. In a lot of my still life classes, I would be frustrated as hell because still life is not my strong suit. I can do it really well, but it's not my strong suit. But on the train, cool car I seen. Me trying to okay, this was me trying to do a lot of kind of like getting better, or me attempting to get better at like still life stuff. But there was this dude when I worked at Vans, his name's Victor, and he is from, I believe he's from either Taiwan or China, and he plays the drums. He's actually pretty chill. Victor's drums. Bridge, something about a bridge, I don't know. I don't like, I'll be honest too, like when I'm doing these drawings, like I said, I don't put a lot of quickness, like I don't put a lot of time into it. It's fairly quick. Okay, and then this is when I went to Vermont with my current roommates to see the eclipse at the time, and it was really cool. And my roommate Kelsey has this horse named Phoenix, and I was doing some doodles of Phoenix. And then this is my my roommate's cat Fig that I was drawing. and just like a bunch of different drawings of just like life, you know, real life. These next couple pages are just like me drawing like things that I saw and, you know, were doing during my time in Vermont seeing the solar eclipse. So time frame wise, I actually don't remember when that was, but very clean and concise drawings, you know, very clean, concise drawings. I really like these pages. Even though there's not too much fullness to them, it's definitely, they're good in my opinion. Like, as you could see that in my opinion, from the beginning of this one too, my art was definitely improving from going back to school. I was definitely learning to take a more of a longer look, even though, like I said, I don't really like to. I'll just be honest. Like, when I need references, I'll definitely use references, and I think as I get older, I become more disciplined. Focus. Thank you. But you know, as I kind of continue on, sorry, not to have like pauses in what I'm saying. There's gonna be a lot of jump cuts in this part of the video, but you know, as I'm trying to say here, essentially, I was getting more concise, and my brain was working. To put it all in simple terms. All right. Basically, I'm just trying to show you guys kind of to finish up this sketchbook because I want to keep each one 10 minutes. There's a lot to talk about in this one. I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be a lot to talk about in the other one as well. Or maybe I did this out of order, honestly. Oh shit, I think I did the sketchbooks out of order. Well, honestly, like, yes and no. This one also kind of comes before the other two. Whatever. We'll go back into that one. That's also a really good sketchbook. But more comicking bullshit. Not really the best comicking BS stuff, but just having fun, you know? Just having fun. More stuff where I was sketching and drawing for class, so that's why there's like a lot of pages where, you know, there's just random stuff. That's what I would say. But yeah, me just practicing, talking with myself, thinking of ideas. I think the majority, I've already said this probably earlier, but the majority of my art is just me just feeling a certain way. So I think that's why I'm getting a little quiet during this segment. During the next sketchbook, and even my current one, I know that I have a lot more stuff that I can talk about. But like I said, what's throwing me off is the unfocusing issue right now. But I have a lot of good pages that are really successful. So this was something that I drew on my way to Charleston, or maybe I was already waiting in the airport because my semester was over and I was starting my apprenticeship at my current job. So this is me saying essentially that I have bigger fish to fry, and I was really excited to start the journey that I was on. And honestly, this is where that sketchbook ends. That sketchbook ends during my apprenticeship because I think that I got back into digital and I didn't want to finish this sketchbook. So I was like low-key, okay, yeah, this is a month before my birthday. Nearly a month before my birthday. Less than a month. 3 weeks, I would say. 3.5 weeks before my birthday. And I was in Charleston. And I was tweaking at the airport because I waited there for like 4 hours to go to my Airbnb. So I was like drawing things and just hanging out and, you know, doing life. Just doing the good old human thing. Doing the good old human thing and thinking. Definitely thinking way too damn much, I can tell. But this is as we're continuously, as I'm continuing my journey during my apprenticeship, I was drawing and trying to keep myself busy. But I like this drawing of myself that I did here, back when I had some longer hair. Does that look like me, chat? But there was so much to draw when I was in Charleston. It was so nice. I would definitely go back It's back. Honestly, that was probably when I started smoking cigarettes again. I shouldn't have, but you know, we do what we do because we are human. But let's see. Okay, a very nice page here. Very nice page. Maybe I'll take photos and like upload some of this stuff, but you could tell that I had just gotten out of school, in my opinion, because I had a very like fresh and thoughtful mind. Like I was capturing a lot of the things that I saw around me, and very clearly too. Like very clearly too. I just have to be honest. Like you only can do that if you you're trained, and I'm definitely someone that benefits from training. Um, but shout out Gab, Jas, and Michaela for being with me during my apprenticeship. If y'all ever see this video, because they were like literally the last thing that I drew in the sketchbook before I stopped using it. So, all right, that's that one. I honestly do have to finish that one up. Where, like I had also mentioned, this was kind of a before and after sketchbook, and I can also tell that it was also it's a lot of different seasons of my life because I can tell just based off the stickers that are on the front. So yeah. Very old drawing just to start off with. I think I did this in the car, but it's basically a nothing burger. This is literally, this has to be back in 2022, 2023, because I drew this one of my former roommate, Anya, and she drew this one of me. So, and then definitely around 2022, actually, because I was drawing a lot of crazy shit after my dad died, so this is definitely one of them. But I drew this on receipt paper at Vans, like, you know, like I was doing the art thing. To be human is to feel and express and to create. So I'm not gonna sit here and be ashamed or embarrassed about me drawing shit after a very impactful moment in my life. But in my opinion, it came out with some good shit. Like, this was some bomb shit, bro. You could tell I was into dramatical murder at the time. What? Who said that? But this was also before I went back to school. So that's all I have to say. This was just me being me. Me being me, y'all. Me being me. This older stuff this is probably one of my favorite older sketchbooks. Not only because, like I said, this is the sketchbook that I was drawing in after my dad had passed, but it's just like I said, sometimes when something impactful happens to you, it can really remind you of what you enjoy to do, I guess is what I would say. What you enjoy to do, it will really get your brain working and get you back into that creativity mindset. Because there's nothing else to do. You just have to keep your hands busy in those time periods. If you don't, you literally will go insane. And as I was expressing that, the gray sketchbook was actually a really bad example of some of my art before, like in that time period. I would say that this, even though I didn't have like, 100% the most best, like the greatest skills, like this is really good. Like I'm filling up the pages. That's what I can say. That's what I can say. You could also tell this is back when I first like started testosterone too. Because I'm drawing like a lot of like just like trans stuff. I was really getting into that vibe. Nowadays, I'm still drawing trans stuff, but it's like more normalized to me. Like it is what it is. Everybody's favorite, my Spider Sona and Deadpool. Amen. Love that guy. Shout out. But a lot of these drawings are really good. I'm honestly just going through it. Oh wait, that's cute. I didn't even notice that. I must have done this back when I was working at Zoomies, because I did not have time like that. I don't have time like that anymore. Oh, and this is a paw print of my cat and my former roommate's cat, Tunes. And in a lot of sketchbooks, I always encourage people to like make a pocket. I don't have one in my current one, but this is like just like a bunch of shit that I was drawing. Like little notebooks. I love to make a mini notebook. That shit's gas. Okay. But Is there anything else in here? Sometimes I keep like stickers and crap in here, but I think that's really it for this one. If I can put it away properly. So this is my profile picture on my art account on Instagram, so this is like kind of like whoa to me. Every time I see it, I'm like, that's my profile picture. But this was 8/11/2024. 2 years ago at this point. A new perspective will inspire innovation. You know what? It's true. Me getting my new job, the one that I currently have, really did. It inspired me in a lot of different ways, I will say that. But also you can tell the shift of me not ripping out a bunch of pages. Yeah, well, you could tell here, there's something going on here. What's happening here, buddy? You clearly got rid of something there. But you could tell that my transition going back into school and doing all that and then going through my apprenticeship and blah, 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 blah. My art really had a different impact after. Like, my art just improved, just point blank and period. Like, you can just tell there's a full figure on the page. There's more concise, like everything's more concise. I keep saying basically the same thing, but everything is more concise sometimes. Sometimes, but you can tell, like, look, my brain is working. I'm doing lettering. Like, that is, unfortunately, as much as I love fan art and just doing whatever I want, like, in the real art world, that is what they like to see. That is what they like to see. That is what's going to get you your foot in the door. That is what they just want to see, examples of you doing it all. They want to see how good you are. So yeah. But I like to sometimes also take these little like leaves and stuff, redraw them. I often draw myself, obviously, as you can see. And then if I am like listening to music, I'll try to do like a storyboard of like what I think an animatic could be for that song. And then sometimes I won't finish it. But again, back to the main point, you can tell that this was definitely a time period where I was, really just drawing and being good at it. Like, if I could be so honest, if I wanted to call it something, just drawing and being fucking good at it. And here, I love this drawing. Even though it's not too much, I can clearly tell that this is my homies, Vince and Alyssa here, because of the mannerisms in which they sit. Like, I feel like I captured their posture even without being able to draw too much here. Here we go. Love it. Shout out, Vince and Alyssa. Love you guys. Let me see if I can get it. And I want to bring it in a little bit closer because this is really where stuff starts to kind of get good. This was also back when I was, so 2024, I was playing a lot of Elden Ring. Shout out Elden Ring. And I was doing the Lord Flame Frenzy route. So I think I was trying to kind of like do something like that, and I never finished it. So there's that. Very cool. This is also one of my favorite, most successful sketch pages. But as you can see, very, very nice, very masterful in my opinion. Let me go back and look at some of these other pages now that we have that issue solved. But yeah, so continuing on with this one, definitely more stuff that I was just doodling and drawing at work. Passing the time, really just getting back into not only writing, but drawing while being out of school. I won't lie, these days, because I'm so busy, I have kind of like lost my touch a little bit, but I won't lie, 2024, early 2025 is when I was really popping off, in my opinion. This was the time frame where I was living at home. You could tell, honest to God, that some of this art is like not tip-top shape. It's just honestly me trying to like get my brain working again. But we're at a good point. I would say now we're at a good point. But still really cool stuff. Still really cool stuff. Still great ideas going on. Still really nice page and line work going on. And you can tell when I have inspiration. You can tell when I have really good Like, based off of whatever I'm doing, you can tell when I've had my more successful days, which is cool. But overall, again, to point it out, the shift in um, the ways that I draw, the shift in the ways that I draw for sure. Um, just doing it better, I guess, is the way that I could put it. If we base it off of when we had the art here, to just sidetrack a little bit, this page that's supposedly, you know, art dump page versus this page, you know, I mean, in my mind, it's just kind of night and day, like low-key night and day. No matter where you turn, night and day. And I'm doing it more often. There's more consistency, like, as you can see, and it's not just like one or two things. It's like fucking a million things all on one page. Like, my brain is in overload. That's what happens. That's just what happens. But I love it, though. You can tell this is like awesome, successful stuff. So you can tell when I have my days where I'm like, okay, Jesus Christ, like, I can't fucking draw, unfortunately. And then I have my days where I'm like, oh my god, I actually know how to draw. Let's get back into drawing. Let's draw, guys. Does anybody want to draw? But yeah, just a lot of cool stuff overall. I realized that I skipped a couple pages there. But yeah, love it. I love this sketchbook. This is definitely one of my most, like, top 10 most successful. Like, this is like, if I had to rate one at number one, this would be number one, I think. I don't have anything else. So, and you can tell too, as I was getting towards the end of this sketchbook, I was really just trying to fill it up with pages, and, you know, I'm talking about my wishes for the year, and then I ended up, for like the last final, to kind of use an excuse, because I ended up buying another kind of piece of sketchbook paper pad. I ended up using this mini notebook that I stapled in as an example of the last few pages not being filled. So, I mean, as a replacement. So here's a couple of those. Some of these are really cool. I love a lot of these. I mean, I've already said it too earlier. You've heard me say it earlier in the video, but a lot of these is just me when I'm hanging out with people, me at work, me just doing the damn thing. Me at restaurants, like, I like to bring my sketchbook into restaurants and do the thing too. Me just like drawing on the side, like maybe if I'm like playing video games with someone and I'm just like thinking, or if I'm fucking downed and bored. But in reality, if you look at it, I literally just didn't end up finishing like a couple of spreads. So those last few pages were literally the couple of spreads at the end of the day. So that's that one. Damn, that one took the longest. And we're about to jump into my favorite, my current sketchbook. We're going to jump right into this one. I actually really like, when I look at this page, like, in my hands, I can't really tell what my intention was here, but I like how now that I have it up on the camera, you can see what is, like, here. Like, even though there's a bunch of bullshit, you can see what is here. There's this figure here, there's like this random ass mouth here, and then that's honestly really it, actually. So but I won't lie, when I had this sketchbook, when did I buy it? I bought it in 2024, and I didn't really start using it until 2025. I will not lie to you. There are some drawings. Oh yeah, like literally, I didn't even lie. This in the corner says 2025, and then the next page you turn and it's 2024, and you turn and it's 2025. So yeah, this was me remembering again. This is my remembering that I'm an artist and my purpose is to create sketchbook. I literally have not too much to say. A lot of these are successful. Some of these, honestly, I don't think that in this sketchbook, knowing myself in my adult years, I don't think that I would call really any of this unsuccessful. Like, it's just, you can tell when I have my days where I'm drawing. You can tell when I have my days where I'm not drawing. And maybe I'm just doing it in passing as something to do or something to fill my time up. but this was around Valentine's Day in 2025 when I was doing my tattoo flash. This was actually in January because I turned 3. This year I turned 4 on my testosterone. So that was me to celebrate my 3 years on testosterone. Who knows what I'll do for this year. But like I said, I was getting prepared for February for my flash. And honestly, that was a good challenge. Even though I didn't really do too much with it, it was a challenge to myself, a project and a goal that I set for myself, so that I had something to work towards, so that I could get my mind working and fresh again. And you could tell that a lot of this stuff, like I've been saying, is just stuff that I don't want to say shit, but shit that I've been drawing in passing, shit that I'm doing while I'm at work, while I'm talking to people, while I'm listening to music. I mean, come on, people, how many times do I gotta say it throughout the video? This is what it's all about. Like, you're not getting inspiration based off of nothing. And even though some of these pages in this sketchbook are not filled to the brim like those other sketchbooks, you have to think about the size of sketchbook that I'm used to. Usually, to be honest, I'm used to those smaller sketchbooks, so this is my first like big sketchbook, which I'm loving. You'll see more as we continue throughout this one what I have so far, and how much more how much more I am able to fill up the page. Goodness gracious. Oh my god. But a lot of these are like probably some of my favorite drawings. Like this one is one of my favorite drawings. I'm not going to explain what it is, but it holds something dear to my heart. And then a lot of these were just cut up things that I've done at work. Like I did a little paper cutout, so like each of the things of this drawing are like they're like glued on one on top of each other. So like the head is separate, the neck is separate, yada yada yada. But you know, honestly, I gotta do something when I'm at work, because sometimes I'm fucking staring at drywall is how it feels. So yeah, just some drawings and some random shit. I had a mini hand shredder, and then I shred a Starly card. Why not? I hate that bitch. But yeah, I keep saying but yeah, but it's just because I have nothing else to say besides to show you guys what I've been essentially leading up to say during this. What I've been saying throughout this whole video, rather, is like there's gonna be consistency, there's gonna be inconsistency, but when you get to a very comfortable point, and when you know what your style is, you can get to the more consistent part, I guess. All in all, this is just a sketchbook tour, but it's showing like that this is just shit that I've done on my casual day-to-day, and it's me trying to inspire myself, me trying to get better. And you can do it by yourself. Like, clearly not every time am I drawing like the best thing, but then you have times where I'm drawing shit like this and it's like, whoa, that's awesome, like good for you. I'm having times where I'm like really just, you know, brain animating and then drawing storyboards. I have times where I'm just fucking watching a show. Like, I don't know, I love it because it's very human at the end of the day. And I think what artists are made to do are, we're naturally criticizing ourselves, but I think that what I want to show by making this video is that through all of my own self-criticisms and what I haven't uploaded and what I haven't shown, is that I have a lot of great shit. Like, I don't just draw for nothing. I draw because I fucking love it and I'm good at it, and it's literally, I think I love it, and because it's so easy to me at this point is why I've kind of been more on a slowdown. So with my YouTube channel and making these videos and showing you guys and being more open with myself and my art, I'm kind of trying to take myself more seriously. So, but I want to say, awesome, I love this page because I haven't done a lot of black with color on top in a long time. So that was really, this is really cool to see. I don't know when I did that. Oh well, I do. I do know when I did that because everything in this notebook is actually dated. So yeah, very cool stuff. And I have less to say on a lot of this stuff. A lot of this is just kind of like random bullshit that I draw, and like I said, I get over emotional, I draw, I continue my day. Just another day in the life of being a human. And yeah, at this point, I'm just enjoying what I'm looking at. I mean, I'm staring right at it on the screen in front of me. That's why during this whole video I've been like looking forward instead of looking down, is because I can see it right up in front of me. And I think right now in this phase of my art, I'm trying to do more character design. I'm trying to like make something. I don't know, like, because you can be good at art, but I'm not really doing, not to say like this, like I'm not really doing too much with it. It's always been, I've always wanted it to feel like it's something for myself, and I've never wanted to kind of like, I'll be honest, I guess in a sense I've never really wanted to share my art with someone else. Like when it's gonna sound like an asshole thing, but like when people compliment me or tell me that I'm good at art, it's just kind of like, okay, like I appreciate that a lot, but I know, not to say it like that, but I know because I've practiced, I've tried for so long to get to a point where I'm super comfortable with what I make. And I don't know, I already love it so much that I feel like I don't need to be complimented or rewarded for it because it's something that I love. Like, I don't know if that makes sense at all, but you know, it makes it, that though makes it tough to then become an adult and be like, okay, this is something that I love, but it's like, what can I do to take it to the next stage? What can I do to inspire myself more to do more projects? And not just have this as like a hobby, because I know that I want it to be so much more than that, but it, unfortunately, I think that the self-love is also I'm holding on to it a little bit too personally. So, and that is a result of me being very emotional with my art and drawing a lot of personal shit during personal times in my life. So this sketchbook is one of those sketchbooks where you see a lot of less of my personal side. Of course, I'm writing a lot of shit. I think it's good to write and get a journal out there, as anybody needs to, but as you can see, it's a lot more just kind of like fan art and silly stuff, and I'm making characters, and it's just great. Like, and I'm just drawing. Like, it's just great to see. It's really great to see. And I'm still experimenting, and I'm like word lettering. Like, I'm remembering my basics, like going back to the basics of it all. Like, yes, I can be emotional with my art, but what am I, like, there needs to be a purpose. We need to have an end goal, so that's something that I'm working on. I've got a couple of nice stories and ideas lined up anyways, so as I keep, living, we'll do that. And as you can see, I have a bunch of shit written here. None of this, because I'm usually doing this at work, as I've said, none of this is like 100% proper. So yeah. And then I like to get drunk and high and also draw. So this was me when I had a bottle of Moscato one night and I was drawing. And then this is another day when, oh, I'm 2 glasses deep on a small bottle of Moscato.
Julian!
That's awesome, bro. Good for me. And then this is, even though this never really became a comic, just kind of like comicking again, drawing gay shit, whatever. Even if it's like gay or like fan art or whatever, I still take it as a success because I'm remembering how to fucking construct something. Like, at least your brain's working. So I'm constructing, I'm erasing, and being like, no, this scene is more dynamic than this scene. Even if it doesn't become something, like, who cares? Like, and then this was the pause. So when did I draw this? Back in, this was in August, and then I did not come back to draw until September. So this was kind of like beginning of August, end of September. I skipped one page, which I usually don't do. During this whole sketchbook, you have not seen me skip one page in here, but it was the break. I took a break. I think maybe I was going through some personal shit, and then I came back. Now I'm back, and I'm back into drawing again. So that's healthy as well. Taking a break, coming back into drawing. I mean, honestly, 2 pages where I was, if you want to be so for real, I came back into drawing, then I kind of started to go back into therapy, and now I'm like really back into drawing because this was what I was doing right before Christmas, right before the new year. I'm thinking again, I'm getting inspired, I'm thinking about 2026, and that's where we're at right now. A lot of emotions, but we're working through it. There's been so much going on in this world, in my own personal life, that even to get to this point where I'm at, I think that I'm proud. I'm very proud. So, that's it. That's all I've got to show you. But you can definitely see the slowdown. You can definitely see where I'm busy. That's what I would call it. Like, I'm busy, you know? I'm getting my life back on track. I'm thinking, and I'm as I've said it several fucking times throughout the video, I'm doing the fucking human thing at the end of the day. And that is what helps me to continue and draw, you know? Pretty awesome. Pretty fucking awesome. And right now, I guess if I had to like wrap up this sketchbook tour, I'm into horses, I'm into Uma Musume, I'm into feminine things again. Still drawing myself. I'm into Miniso. I love Miniso. I'm into my character, Vol. He's like a Cerberus dog type thing. I'm into wizards. I'm into draw myself in a bikini. Why not? I don't give a fuck. And I was going to make a Christmas card this year and Christmas cards, but I just did not have enough time. I was so busy. But yeah, that's all I got, honestly. So I guess I'll wrap up this recording by saying, thanks for watching. First and foremost, thanks for watching, if you do watch it. It's going to be a fairly long video, but, one thing I'll say is this was my first time recording something like this, so sorry that a lot of the stuff was blurry, at least for like this sketchbook and for the smaller sketchbooks. Essentially, a lot of it was really blurry, but I'm gonna try to edit that and make sure that you guys can get like nice views of some of those photos that I thought were, you know, the more important ones to see, I guess. But yeah, that's a little bit more of me and what I'll be offering on this channel. Just some art, like just to show you a little bit of my art, I guess. And that's it. So thank you for watching. And tune in next time when I do whatever I feel like. Shrug.